Hello and welcome to Not Another Football Podcast. I'm Luke and this is Ollie. Let's get right into it, Ollie. Liverpool, Forest, 1-1. Travesty that we drew that game. I mean, oh my God. I was losing my mind. Matt Sells just making save after save. Fucking wonder performance. So many goalkeepers when they play. I mean, statistically, yeah. He's got most clean sheets anyway, hasn't he? But
yeah.
My God, man, I cannot believe we didn't win that game. I was just losing my head. Like, the amount of saves he kept pulling off. I actually think we played really well. And they had, again, this seems to be indicative of us in recent weeks anyway. One shot, a goal. Like we started the game pretty well. We're in total control. We were taking quite a few pot shots, but we'd have they kept harping on 7 shots in the opening 7 minutes or something stupid. Forest, Canate heads the ball towards Salah. Salah doesn't win it, but he's sold out with the header. Two passes, they're in, bang, goal. And it's just like, oh my days. This seems to happen to us in the last few weeks where teams just get a chance to score. And then we're obviously left with a lot to do. But ultimately, overall, I thought we came back into the game really well. We created so many chances in that second half. Should have won it. Fuming that we didn't win it really annoys me because now I have to sit there and listen to people say, oh, well, fucking Forest defended and all this. It's like, yeah, they defended so well. Yeah, it was Matt Sells that kept them in the game. They did defend well, but they also gave up a lot of chances that we should have beat them. And on any other day, it'd have been like 3-1, maybe even 4-1. And we come away with a big win. But instead, again, we just keep letting teams have that little glimmer. Can't kill it off.
You'll never beat Marilla, which I think is a fantastic chant. Like the Des Walker, but even better.
It is, except for his defending on the set piece with Jota's goal. But we won't go there.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never beat him, but you did beat him once, I suppose, at a crucial time.
Yeah, I mean, he did play well, to be fair, overall, and obviously Forest did put in a shift, and they did defend well to a point, but again, they did give up a lot of chances that we should have taken. I feel like it's one of those games, though. I still think when we look back, I said the same about Newcastle away. I know that was different circumstances, conceded with the last kick of the game, essentially. But it'll be one of those when we look back and we think, actually, you know what? It was a good point. I mean, Forest at the time, 6 wins in a row in the league, 7 including the FA Cup. Difficult game, midweek.
See, it's not just a good point. I think it's arguably a great point to get, really, in the grand scheme of things. Like, they are, second in the division, albeit, I know not with the prestige and maybe, certainly not the record or experience to go on a massive run like an Arsenal or a Manchester City. But I think, like you say, in the form that they're in and the way in which they defend and set traps and limit teams to pot shots outside of the box or how deep they defend, I think a point is a really good result, especially after going 1-0 down.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got a stat. I think they've lost once since they've taken the lead. That was against Newcastle at home. But actually, touching on that, you know how you said they limit teams to pot shots? They actually didn't really limit us to pot shots in the second half, but I think that shows, because you're all right, that's what they usually do. That actually shows how well we played, because we were carving them open, creating really good chances that you should be scoring. And then I think from that, what I take is it's not a point where, it was end-to-end and Forest, obviously they had a few moments of counter-attack, but it wasn't like end-to-end where you felt like, fucking hell, we're going to concede here. We're going to concede any moment. It was more like, we're the dominant force. We're pushing for the winner, which then gives me confidence just going for, it's not a pot shot at you, but like when we roll back a few weeks when obviously you were in your good run, and it just shows how quickly things can change. So even though we just kept ticking along, teams around us drop off. And I feel like that'll be the same with Arsenal personally.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a momentum killer, isn't it? Really, the point, because not to say that they'll be like, they're not going to be going away gutted with that, but if they go effectively 3 points up on you, versus
I know, could you imagine?
Nothing. It's like it is a big killer in terms of that swing in regards to teams suddenly getting close to you. The pressure starts to build, whether it's Forest or not. It's still big pressure, right? If they go within would have been
Three.
4 points behind you, 3 points behind you. Wow. I know they've got a game in hand, but you've got a game in hand over them. But like you've been saying in the previous episodes, you'd rather have the points on the board. So I think that more than anything is why it makes it a great point as opposed to a good point, really.
Yeah, keeping them at bay, isn't it? Even though we should have won, that's again what really frustrates me. But it's like, it's a weird anger.
Yeah.
Not taking chances. Whereas, like, against United, I was really disappointed with how we played. I thought we were excellent today. So, there is that. Couple of players. I want to touch on Slot. I mean, he made the subs. He literally brought on Simicast for Canate, and he brought on Jota for Robertson. Yes, sorry, yeah. Canate and Robertson went off. Jota and Simicast came on, and they literally scored from the first touch. Simicast took the corner. Jota scored the header. But also, I actually liked how he just goes for it. He did it against Fulham when we went down to 10 man. He put Gravenberch at centre back and Simicast at left back, obviously. But Gravenberch was always further forward than Van Dijk. Basically just said Van Dijk 1v1 with Chris Wood. Gravenberch, just get on the ball. And even, I mean, you would think, okay, that it might tuck and become a 3. It's just essentially a 1v1. Gravenberch screening that on his own, and then our fullback's just bombing on. So I like how brave Slot is with that, and how he really wants to try and win the game. I mean, I know Liverpool should be trying to win games, but still, a lot of managers wouldn't have made that choice. And I think the sub was like the 60th minute, 65th minute.
I think it's 60. I was just looking before. I think it's like 65th minute, and then Jones came on for Diaz with 50 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, Jones has been good this season, but in games like that, when the space is so tight, and there was one point we literally carved open, so he's gone down the side, I can't remember if it was Salah or Trent or even Szoboszlai, just slipped it down the side, play it across goal, takes a touch, lets Nico Williams basically get back in all defense, and it gets blocked and goes out for a corner, and it's like, that's where you're infuriating. That's too slow. Like, against teams with a low block and who defend as well as they do, got to be sharper and quicker. Salah had an off day, disappointing. Diaz was pretty disappointing as well, to be honest. I actually felt like they should have chucked Chiesa on, but I mean,
that was going to be my next question. So you've segued nicely into it. He's not somebody we've spoken about. I don't think we mentioned him once on the whole podcast. So probably evidenced by the fact that he's not obviously been on the pitch, but he obviously played in that FA Cup game, albeit against Accrington Stanley. Like, how do you feel about him? Do you feel like he could force his way in even off the bench for the rest of the season, or do you think they'll send him back on loan to, well, not back on loan because you haven't purchased him, but do you think they'll send him back to Italy? Oh, you have?
Yeah, we bought him for 15 mil.
Oh, of course you did. Yes, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Yes, you did. Sorry.
He was linked with Napoli though to go back on back to Italy on loan.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Yeah, he I mean, he's got the big problem, obviously, Salah, and he's arguably best off the right, Chiesa. I know he can play off right or left, so it depends, which one you want to prefer him, but he's not going to get in over Salah. However, I'm not saying I took Salah off today, but I was thinking, Gakpo has gone quiet in this game. And granted, he's been, again, fantastic this season, but I thought he's gone quiet and I thought Diaz was poor, so I would have personally brought Jota on, but again, Slot's more courageous, I guess, with the subs he's made.
Yeah.
But I was thinking with like 10 minutes to go, take Gakpo off and put on Chiesa. Fresh legs. He's like you said, he scored against Accrington, albeit you never know what momentum could happen. He could have got a winner, scruffy tap in, anything, and all of a sudden you're thinking it might kickstart his season, but it doesn't seem to be. We've got a curse with Italian players at Liverpool. I mean, obviously the big one.
Wearing your Italian shirt.
I'm trying to end the curse.
End the curse.
Yeah, I mean, his dad would have wore this at Anfield, actually, for that goal where everyone kept showing. I don't know why I keep doing this as well. Like, yeah, no, so I Aquilani's the one that sticks out the most. It just didn't work for him, and Off the top of my head, I don't think we've ever really had a really good Italian player. The Senna, players like that, not really lived up to it. I thought Chiesa could be a good impact player, but it seems like Slot doesn't fancy him. Now,
Yeah.
I would start him against Spurs at home in the Cup. I know we're trailing, but I really want to get him game time. I want Chiesa to be a threat because he is a threat whenever he's been fit. That's the big issue because obviously he's been in and out. But imagine him coming off the bench. It's just something different, isn't it? And he's very direct.
Yeah.
I just thought worth a chuck him on, but we didn't roll the dice with him, unfortunately.
And final thoughts on percentage chances of winning the league. My favourite question.
Well, it's gone down now. It's gone down now. The probability. I mean, it depends if Arsenal win. If Arsenal win tomorrow, then I'll give us a 12.5% chance. If I'm being, I'd say 65%. Because you're always a little bit more pessimistic about your team.
Yeah.
And I just got that nagging feeling in the back of my head, we're not going to do it easily. We're going to make it difficult for ourselves. Because I'm probably used to that. Like, theoretically, I mean, if we beat Newcastle, hold on and beat Newcastle, obviously 2 more points. We'd have beat Forest today like we should have. 2 more points. Title's gone. Title's done. Ain't done anymore.
You wouldn't have been saying that, but yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely wouldn't have been saying that. But you know what? Grand scheme of things, I think it'll be a good point. I thought we played really well.
Yeah.
Something to build on. So yeah, let's see. And hopefully Spurs will take some points off Arsenal tomorrow. Let's you were dreading it, but let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea Bournemouth, obviously 2-2. Same with you. You didn't see our game because you were playing at the same time, and I didn't see your game. So talk me through it. I mean, took the lead. Bournemouth were a good side, so I did think, it could go. It wasn't like a gimme game, but once you took the lead early, I thought you might kick on.
You know how you say, I watched our game, obviously. I felt like I've watched our first half, a repeat of that for the past 4 weeks on repeat, especially at home. Like, where do I start within the team? Like, we absolutely battered them in the first half. Absolutely destroyed them in terms of possession, the chances that we created. Maybe the stats show this. Maybe the stats don't show this. I can't stress to you how little joy they had in possession. Like, we absolutely dominated them, but the end product was woeful, and it looks like. No, it doesn't look like, it definitely is the case that Palmer is the only person who can stick the ball in the back of the net.
Hey, the composure, man.
It was a great finish. It was a great finish, but the other players around him, Sancho was like nice tricks, like gets into the box well, like beats a couple of players. No end product whatsoever. Jackson worked incredibly hard. His hold-up play was good today, better than it's been in the past 5 or 6 games. But he missed like chances that you take those, it goes to 2-0, it kills the game. I must have said that against Fulham. Endless games that I've said that over the past 4 weeks. You score that second goal at home, kills the game off, or you've got way better opportunity of killing the game off. And he missed, you won't have seen these yet, but the chance that he misses at 1-0 is absolutely incredible.
Is it worse than the Everton?
It's worse than the Everton one for me. It comes straight across him. All he's got to do is smash it into the net. But again, he doesn't anticipate the bounce, gets head above the ball, and it flies over the bar. Then he misses another one with his head. Madueke puts a great ball in, knocks it down, should score with the header. Rebound comes straight back to him, misses that. He hit a post with one, which was arguably the hardest chance. Just horrendous in front of goal, and it wasn't just him as well. Madueke was ineffective, just and in going on to him and the second half. He just fucking gave up in the second half. He was an absolute disgrace. He cost us
God.
the second goal because he didn't trap the ball correctly, lost a throw in, and then we were all out of shape, partly because of him, partly because of Enzo. Just no end product, like no end product from those forwards. And if Palmer doesn't score, we don't score, and we never keep a clean sheet. So just baffling.
I just wanted
I'm on
to
a pure rant, but
I
it's
want to back
just
you up on your rant.
horrendous.
I want to back you up on your rant because the stats, I mean, flash score stats. The first half, your expected goals 1.9, and you had 13 goal attempts, 5 on target to their 1. They had 1 shot and it wasn't even on target.
One shot, but they arguably they nearly scored, and again it came from Sanchez passing them the ball. He's done his classic, taking the ball to feet and passed them the ball. I think that was about 40 minutes where they'd literally not stepped foot in our half. He's on control of the ball, passes it to their player, they nearly score. They get some confidence from that, not even in the first half, and then they come out in the second half and they're a threat. Suddenly they score and it's 1-1. The amount of times I've watched that film over the past 4 to 5 weeks is absolutely horrendous. And again, because we were on top, we thought that the goal was going to come, and we made the changes at 78, 80 minutes. And Maresca, as good as he's been this season, he's got to be culpable for that, and he's got to find a way in which wingers contribute with more goals. And I know that's not just down to him, it's down to the players, but really bad, really concerning. And it looks like we're having a real Leicester-esque run. We haven't won in 5, and he's got to find a different solution to it. I thought Lavia coming back in today was the right call, but he took him off at half time.
Is that just to manage his minutes?
Manage his minutes, maybe, but I thought we had a better balance when he was in the side, and we tried to push it maybe to get the second goal. I'm not sure, maybe to manage his minutes, but as soon as he came off, Bournemouth came well into the game, and they genuinely did not have a sniff when Lavia was on the pitch.
I'm just looking now at the team. So Sancho stayed on the whole game. Are you surprised by that? I don't know who you could have brought on. Well, Kunku's left.
We don't have anybody down the left hand side unless he wants to bring on Tyreek George. Now Mudrik's obviously got his ban.
Yeah.
But the thing with Sancho is that I don't understand is that his close control is phenomenal, and he can beat a player. He stopped. I think the ball through players' legs three times this evening. Looked, quote unquote incredible on the YouTube reel, but when he gets in the box, because he invites the pressure on and he's twinkle toes, it means that if he beats the fullback, the defender's there on the cover, and each time he goes to shoot, he try and bend it round him low and hard, and the defender in most cases is already there. So it's no good him beating the first man because he just runs into trouble. Madueke on the other side, particularly in the second half, was so ineffective. Like, his outputs have dropped off massively.
Is that since he got dropped, or was it happening before that?
I think it was happening before that, hence why he got dropped. And then his attitude, I think, with him, and also a little bit strangely of confidence as well. And the same goes for Jackson in terms of in front of goal. And you can see Palmer getting more and more frustrated because he's right. He's looking at that half time going, how the hell is that only 1-0?
Yeah.
And
you're made to pay.
When you've been in that situation before, you lose confidence, and we don't really have many leaders in the team, which we've spoken about before. We don't.
Yeah.
We're playing with an 18-year-old at centre half, and he was excellent again. But yeah, really bad, really worrying for Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, just having a look now. 2 points ahead of Newcastle. Obviously, they play. I say obviously, but they're playing either tomorrow or Thursday. They got Wolves at home, so you'd expect a win, especially on their current form. So they'd leapfrog you. City blew a 2-goal lead, so they were going to be on level points with you. So I guess that's a little bit of luck.
Did they? Oh God, I didn't even see that they drew.
Yeah, they were 2-0 up at Brentford. Yeah. So they blew a
Yeah, so I
2-goal
saw
lead
it. Yeah, I mean, it's
in
just,
the last 10 minutes as well, by the way.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, obviously, you must be very concerned now about even top four, which is kind of mad to say. It wasn't like you were a shoo-in, but it felt, didn't it, like a few weeks back, like you're playing your way into basically being one of the three that should get it.
it should be. It should be because all of the other teams around us are still fucking faltering, and we haven't taken advantage. We've not won in 5 games.
Mm.
That's horrendous form, and we've not played any of the big six in those
Yeah.
in those 5 games. We've
Everton,
scored.
Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, and then Bournemouth today. On paper, a great run as well.
Yeah, I mean, in 3 of those games, we've been leading 1-0, and we've drawn 2 and lost 1.
Yeah. Which is basically unforgivable. We always said, though, it's weird, though, because we always said, like, your defence and goalkeeper will cost you. Which, obviously, they're playing their part. But we were less convinced, like, the forward line, we just always assumed would not be the ones that essentially costing you games as well at the same time.
I know, but this is the challenge with all of those players, isn't it? You're making assumptions that they're gonna come good. There's no data behind that suggests any of those, and this is what we were speaking about last week, that with the exception of Palmer, that any of those players are consistent goal scorers, especially in the wide areas. If you look at Mudryk, he's young and raw and he's never scored goals consistently in the Premier League. Sancho's never done that. Madueke's certainly not done that. And
Neto doesn't.
Neto doesn't.
As much of a threat he looks, he doesn't really score that many goals, yeah.
Exactly. And if you're wide players that are going to create a lot of chances like Neto, you need Jackson to be scoring 20, 25, well, no, not even 20, 25 goals a season because he's putting things onto a plate, but he won't score himself. It's very rare that he's going to, I mean, I don't know what his Premier League totals are in terms of goals, but I don't think he's had a season where he's got over 10.
Who's this now? Neto or Jackson?
Neto.
Well, I can tell you if you give me a sec. Let's have a look. Pedro, no. Well, yeah, he got 2 last season. He got 0 the season before that. 1, 5, 3. So yeah, he was always looked like obviously one of their main threats. 9 assists last season, for example. But like you said, that's why you need your striker to be banging in the chances. Yeah. And if he's constantly missing these chances that are created, then it also then has an impact on Neto's output. Because if he's not scoring,
it's bad. It's worrying, and this is why I said to you last week that I think they would be tempted to go into for Osman. I think after watching that performance again today, say the same because it changes the momentum. It's a age-old addict. Is that the word? Is that the phrase? Age-old addict? No, maybe not.
Adage.
Age-old adage.
Adage.
Adage. I don't know what the fucking term is, but anyway,
it's age-old.
Is that the goals? You know that second goal, the momentum's with you, and it's a totally different game. And the amount of chances that we had to score that second goal were unbelievable. It's so fucking annoying. Yeah.
See, I feel the same.
I've been all season.
I feel the same, but we're at opposite ends. No. Not the most frustrated. No. But I have the same feeling as like the chances. I can't believe the chances we've missed. However, if we compare them, like Sells is making wonder saves. So, we're not like missing the target and blazing it over. It's more like keeper performing miracles. So obviously it does change a bit. And obviously when we're top and stuff like that, it does obviously change the narrative. So you think Osimhen, Chelsea, if is that what the main link is then, Osimhen, I guess? Or are you linked with any others?
No, I don't think we're linked with any others. I mean, they were big fans of him, obviously all throughout past 2 transfer windows, but towards the back end of the summer transfer window, we very nearly got him. So I don't know why that opinion would.
It's weird that he ended up at Galatasaray.
I know, on loan. I think he was trying to overplay his hand, wasn't he, and just got left with nothing at the end.
Yeah.
Sorry to any Galatasaray fans out there. I
Oh,
don't
I'm
think
sure
enough of
there's many of them listening to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I I agree. I mean, like the likes of you and United link with him. I mean, I'd even take him on loan because I don't know if you've seen yesterday. Apparently Liverpool turned down a 75 million pound bid for Darwin Núñez from Al Hilal.
Snap the hand off for that, won't you?
I mean, yeah, it's come to the point where it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I've been like, you know, he's chaos. He gets chances. He creates his own chances. He's a threat in that sense. But the amount of chances he's missed, I always thought he'd hit that purple patch and that he'd go on a run where he was just banging them in and the confidence was high, and it's just never happened. Never happened. He's had a pretty good output with like goals and assists from last season if you're just looking at it statistically. But then you see the chances he's missed, and it's just like, yeah, it's not going to work. And I think in this slot team, with how everything has changed around him, because obviously if it was still Klopp, he was Klopp signing, I feel like he'd have maybe been given more of a chance. But I think Slot's looking at it and thinking, Jota's better for what I want.
Yeah.
And we could sign someone. I mean, I don't know how feasible. Obviously, this is way out there and it's a dream. But mate, if you could get 75 million, apparently we want 85, whatever, snap their fucking hand off. I mean, how we're recouping anywhere near that, beyond me. But get 70, even if you got 75 million for him and 30 million for Ben Doak.
Yeah.
Get Isak.
I was going to. Isak, yeah. I didn't think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say Yao Pedro, but yeah.
But we are heavily linked with him as well. But I mean, Isak, if you just went to them and offer, I mean, I know FSG, Liverpool, and the transfer policy is very unlikely. But if you built that kitty and offered them 100 million,
surely they wouldn't take that though. I was thinking about this the other day, and like, I know obviously that's an outrageous amount of money, but
how much do you go for?
Surely, then? Like they've got no chance of like
replacing
building anything without him.
No, that is true. I mean, obviously January really hard.
Yeah,
I'm just speculating as like that would be the ideal. Because we'd have to surely bring someone else in. So, well, I guess we wouldn't have to, would we? But leaving ourselves light, and then we also need a centre back. So yeah.
All right. Well, we move. I don't know why I'm laughing because I'm crying inside.
I think, to be fair, it's been a good outlet for you, mate. It's been a good outlet for me. We can reflect. Oh yeah, actually, just before we do wrap up, I want your percentage chance of Chelsea finishing top 4.
I would say at this stage, maybe like 40%.
Wow.
Yeah.
40%.
I would have said a couple of weeks ago, I would have said like 70. But it's like I said, if we don't, I said this at the start, if we don't get rid of Sanchez and we don't buy a top goalkeeper, we won't. There's a high chance we won't get in the top 4. I don't think we get in the top 4 unless we change Sanchez. I genuinely don't foresee that.
Yeah.
He's just not good enough.
He's definitely not good enough, but I think you're going to be with him until the summer.
Yeah, we can be with him, but just play Jorgensen, surely. Give him a chance.
Yeah, give him a sustained run, but that Ipswich game didn't help him, did he? Even though I didn't actually think it was a pen, but there we are.
I don't think that was his fault, really.
No, neither do I, but you know what it's like. Goalkeeper comes in, concedes the pen, you lose the game. Goalkeeper's not seen again.
Sanchez has conceded enough fucking pens.
Yeah, he is useless. All right, well, we'll leave it there. Let you calm down anyway, because we're going to be back on Sunday to discuss more football. Hopefully we actually win. Both of us, that would be nice. But until then, if you are listening on YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts below on the games that we covered today. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, share the podcast, help get it out there. We'd appreciate that. But we'll be back Sunday to discuss some more football. Cheers, guys.